Hi everyone, my name is Anna Welch and I'm going to be discussing whether or not it should be mandatory for parents to be vaccinating their children. Vaccines have been used in the United States since the beginning of the 20th century. It has spawned many arguments and debates over the years over the viability and legitimacy of these immunizations. We could see through historical evidence, the legality of it all, and current scientific findings that these vaccines are important to not only the health of us as individuals, but to the health of us as a society. Today, this topic may be more present than ever considering the new rise of the COVID-19 vaccine. The purpose of this speech is to understand the evidence known about vaccines and to make an informed decision using that evidence to justify vaccinating all children. Before science and technology really started to evolve, it was understandable for people to not really understand how exposing yourself to a particular disease also helped prevent that same disease. Anti-vaccination groups were formed in the US right as vaccines emerged. In the history and science of vaccines, science journalist Tara Halley discusses how forced vaccination laws started to create hostility during the height of the smallpox vaccine. With that, she said, the court said that mandatory vaccination was legal because individuals' rights cannot override the public's right to protect itself from dangerous contagious diseases. By the 1970s, it was required by all 50 states for children to have a set of vaccines. That included polio, MMR, and more. At this time, it was widely accepted by the public to use these vaccines, and as history shows, polio was eradicated in the late 70s and MMR to follow in the year 2000. These statistics came from the CDC's official website. Even with the known facts and the impact of vaccines, we saw in 2018 to 2020 an influx of the measles outbreak, which is caused by not using the MMR vaccine. Over 1,600 cases in the US alone, all which came from unvaccinated individuals, including children, caused this measles outbreak. These statistics also came from the CDC's website. So how can we view the history of vaccines and make an informed decision over the legality of having all children be vaccinated in the United States? In the US, there's no federal law requiring parents to vaccinate their children. These laws are decided by state and local governments only. There are, of course, rules and regulations that require children to be vaccinated, but that's only before entering daycare or school. And we have to remember, a lot of parents don't send their child to daycare or school. So who are these children seeing? The following information was provided or based off the article, Can You Legally Be Forced to Vaccinate Your Child? By hg.org. This website provided legal resources so we could see the legality in this particular situation. Starting with vaccination laws, the first was being passed in 1809 in Massachusetts for the prevention of smallpox. This, over the years, was a base for other legal issues that changed vaccine laws forever. In the mid-20th century, we started to see more states pass laws which required children over the age of 5 to be vaccinated before entering school. This was also backed from the United States Supreme Court. After these laws, there was an intense drop in cases, and we actually saw a lot of diseases be eradicated completely. Still in the present day, these laws are in effect, and we could see how this is really helping spread the causes of contagious diseases. However, there are exceptions, that being either medical, religious, or philosophical. Medical exemptions are accepted in all 50 states, considering there are many people who are allergic to vaccines or have moderate to severe illnesses that prevent them from obtaining the vaccine. So this is a completely legitimate reason to not be getting the vaccine. Next would be religious exemptions. All states except for 2 allow religious objection to immunizations for children. This is a legality issue considering each individual has rights to exercise their freedom of religion. If this is a proven case, the parents do need to have a sincerely held spiritual belief, and in a lot of cases, those parents will distance themselves from other individuals who might have an exemption that might be medical, that they could obtain the disease in case their child was carrying it. The last exception is philosophical. This one unfortunately is abused by many parents and is dubbed as just personal belief. And many states never deny these requests, unfortunately, because it could provide a lot of scrutiny. Using personal beliefs or false information to justify not vaccinating your child has serious repercussions on those who cannot be vaccinated, especially those with true medical exemptions, since if they catch the disease that you're carrying because you decided not to get your child vaccinated, then they can die from it. Most states actually have stricter laws on dogs and cats having rabies vaccines than humans requiring their own vaccines. Parents in the 21st century have fears of their children developing autism and worries for life-threatening health risks for immunization. In the article published by Harvard Health, Why We Need to Make It Harder for Parents to Refuse Vaccines, Dr. Claire McCarthy discusses how parents are worried about the wrong effects. She said, they worry about everything from fears and soreness to additives to possible links to autism. They rarely worry about the diseases these vaccines prevent. Parents only want the best for their children, but what if what they think is correct is utterly incorrect? Children begin using words between 12 and 18 months. Babies of this age with autism may not speak, make eye contact, or point. This was said by Tara Halley. At about 12 to 18 months, and when babies receive the MMR vaccine, is when you see the signs of autism. So this can cause correlation and confusion for parents to think that it is causing their child's developmental delays. There have been multiple studies since 2003 that involve a variety of experimental and control groups, one being very large with 500,000 subjects. These studies are proven and reported by the CDC, who lays out a definitive proof that there is no correlation between the two. In 2008, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. held a press conference discussing his belief that vaccines can cause harm. Since he comes from a very famous family, he gained a lot of attraction on this issue. This, along with the support from actress Jenny McCarthy, who had an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, where McCarthy announced that Evan, her 3-year-old son, was autistic and that vaccines were the cause of his autism. This was also said in the article by Halley. Her interview with Oprah caused many other important and powerful people to speak out against vaccines. Along with those people, media sources of all kinds started to publish and report false studies, which caused the rate to drastically drop in the US and in the mid-2000s of getting these vaccines. These allegations caused devastation for many families, not only to the children who are not vaccinated, but to the children who are unable to receive the vaccines due to major health conditions and who are more susceptible to general diseases. On the website vaccineinformation.org, anyone can view the devastating personal testimonies from families who have lost children, not one over the age of 8, to all to preventable diseases. With all the historical, legal, and scientific evidence in place, it is safe to say that vaccinating all children will only benefit all individuals, whether that be individually or by society. We could see just through personal testimonies and beliefs that it's not credible to take that as a side to not be vaccinating your children. The use of scientific evidence is much more reliable and shows a trend in how research proves this argument. Vaccinations cause horrible repercussions that ultimately cause more harm than good. If we follow historical trends, we can lead to the answer that through time we could see repeated exposure and treatment. Looking through a legal lens, we can identify how implementing laws create boundaries parents cannot cross, making an effective way in preventing the spread. Scientifically speaking, we have the facts and technology to prove just how safe these vaccines are. The risk of not vaccinating your children is substantially higher than the alternative. Thank you.